Prison City is a retro style game released in 2023. I played it on Switch. It's modeled after the Power Blade games, which I'm a big fan of, particularly the first game. I played Prison City on its classic difficulty setting, which emulates games from the 90s, as it says in its description, but I found the gameplay itself is nothing like a game from the 90s. The biggest differentiation in this regard would be the enemies just take so many fucking hits to kill. And in most 90s games, you chuck a boomerang, you shoot a bullet, and the enemy takes like one or two hits, maybe two hits, but usually one hit. And this game, you literally are just like flinging the fucking boomerangs like crazy. I swear these enemies should be like one-hit kills on a motorcycle stage. That's the etiquette. The etiquette for a motorcycle stage is one-hit kills for the enemies. And it just kind of reminds me of that kind of modern combo-based control mechanics that have permeated pretty much every game, any new Castlevania game. Whatever, it features this kind of mechanic where you just like pound away and like beat up enemies pretty much. It feels like action games are kind of beat 'em ups these days. And Prison City is like that. Like in Power Blade 1 and 2, you throw one boomerang and you kill the enemy. But in Prison City, you literally stop in front of each enemy and start wailing on the boomerangs, and you're flicking like fucking over a dozen of these boomerangs into each enemy. It looks cool, like it's cool to see a ton of boomerangs flying everywhere, but ultimately to me it just feels like a beat 'em up. It doesn't feel like an action game, and it definitely doesn't feel like the Power Blade games, which were super quick. You power up your boomerang to that red boomerang, and then you just throw it all the way across the screen, and you take out one or two enemies at a time with one boomerang. What does that look like to you? There are other issues with controls. I just was having trouble with grabbing ledges and jumping ledge to ledge and shit. In side-scrolling games from the 90s, if you want to hang onto a ledge, you just jump up to the ledge and your character kind of auto-hangs onto it, like in Ninja Gaiden. But in this game, you have to hold the jump button, and you have to be pressing the forward button in the direction of the ledge that you want to be holding. And for me, that was just kind of like throwing me off, and I just kept falling from ledges, and I was having a difficult time jumping from ledge to ledge. And that's just me, because my expectations were for this to be emulating an older game. In the game, you can duck too, and ducking is useless. The enemy bullets are just humongous, so you're standing in front of an enemy that's pulling its gun out, and you duck, and you expect to dodge the bullet, and the bullet's fucking like a fireball. The character movements to me, and this is like kind of a thing with modern retro games, I found the character movements to be sloppy and slidey. You're just kind of throwing your character around. They move super fast in these kind of like modern retro games. And in Prison City, I just found it really easy to miss ladders, jumping from a ladder to a ledge. I was constantly plummeting down pits. The graphics are good and inspired by old games like Power Blade, Batman, Ninja Gaiden, Kabuki Quantum Fighter. But they're also awkward, with little differentiation between foreground and background. For example, I kept jumping into walls I thought were background, but they were actually foreground. Oh, I thought that was the background! And another time I was trying to land on this platform that totally looked like the foreground. It looked like the ground, but you fall through it because it was the background layer. Wait, what? I swear the background looks like the fucking foreground! The game is super hard too. Not like a normal game, like from the time period, but more like a modern game that's trying to emulate NES hard, where like the bosses are just like super convoluted, like tons of different like memorization patterns and stuff. They're super clever, and they are there's a fun to learning the patterns, but at the same time, it's just like if you play the original Power Blade, for example, the bosses are just like a cakewalk. The music is dope and energetic and in line with the time that it draws its inspiration from. There is a lot of interesting and creative stuff in the game. I'm not shitting on it. It isn't bad. But for someone expecting the retro love letter to extend past the style, I found the game to just be overly big. I found the control to be cumbersome. It takes a long time to beat, and it's ultimately just not like the source material. I give Prison City a 4 out of 10. What about you? Let me know in the comments. I don't got time for training mode. I know how to play a damn video game. You press the jump button, you press the up button, you shoot the shoot button.